reality is, the more risk you take, the luckier you get. So people need to learn to take one big risk a day. Every day take a risk and build up that risk muscle, because risk is where success comes.
Risk must be taken for the greatest. Hazard in life is to risk nothing.
Take the biggest fucking risks of your entire life right now. Remember, you have time.
I think that most people, the reason that they lack success in their life is that they lack the courage to make the decisions that need to be made to put them in the position that they want to be in.
You can get so scared, and you can be so easily lulled into the idea that good is good enough, that feeling safe and comfortable is what you should always be looking for. That way of thinking, in your 20s in particular, dead fucking wrong. I want you to start to create this mindset of taking risks and going big.
All right. Welcome. What is it? I stopped putting it in the title. I believe it's live stream number 159, people. Damn. 40 more days, we'll be at 200. Look at my eyes. I look a little tired. I'm like, ugh. Well, I need a cup of coffee. I haven't had a cup of coffee. We should be living on stream on Kick, but it ain't working. Damn. I thought I was going to be up and running on Kick today. Not good. This is not good. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. So everybody out there, if you're on YouTube, you got to post notifications, subscribe, right? Pound the like button. Did I say subscribe? Yeah, I think I said that. Show some love. If you're over on Twitter, aka the Freedom of Speech platform, show some love there too. Follow me. Links are always in the description of YouTube. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me there. Show some support. Go like, retweet, do all that good stuff. We're talking about some interesting topics today, right? About going all in on Maria. I've been pondering. What's the last time I live streamed? Friday? I think it was Friday. I took some time to evaluate what I've been doing on Pulsechain. And I took the time to look at what I've been doing and what's been successful for me in 2025, right? 2025 for me, and let me go to the Pulsechain charts really quick here. And don't forget, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency, right? You got to do your own research. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to crypto, because you could lose it all right? What's going on with I wonder what's going on with my Twitch stream. I don't get it. I'm gonna have to remove it off this right here. Maybe I'll just do Twitch on its own a little later. Well, I'll do Twitch a little later. Just Twitch on its own, right? Or not Twitch, Kick. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. So going to Pulsechain, I'm trying to evaluate my positions in everything I've done in 2025. And for me, it's been OG Web Chef printer tokens, like nonstop. From one to the next, to the next, to this, to that, the ups and the downs, the gains, the losses. I'm like, that's crypto, right? That's really like the definition of crypto. You go up and down, the volatility, all that exists. If you can't handle it, you're in the wrong sport, right? So I'm evaluating my behaviors in the past going on 6 months, right? And I will look back and I go, what did I do at the very beginning of Pulsechain where I was doing much better during like a Pulsechain bear market after the SEC news than I'm doing now in the first 6 months of 2025, where Bitcoin is hit all-time highs, right? And I'm talking about experiencing the gains that I got back in when Pulsechain first launched, like after the SEC red candle hit. What delivered that? It was Maria. It was Maria. It was the narrative behind PDI. It was Atropa it was Treasury Bill. It was a lot of this ecosystem that inspired Pulsechain to actually be where it's at today. Without Maria in the liquidity webs and putting Hart's Law into motion, there is no PTGC. There is no UFO. I don't think there's even an OG web chef because he was actually, pretty close to Maria as far as, chatting. I don't know if they talked on the phone, but he was inspired by Maria and created Confesta, which was OG web chef's first token. And I never saw gains like that again on Pulsechain after getting in early and then going down the line and seeing as many X's as I made. It's been like things that I've hit here and there, but nothing like that as being like super, super, super like, the gains that we don't see anywhere really that have been sustainable. And it was also one of those things where not like a meme token hits, right? And it's here and there and it's gone. This ecosystem was thriving for a long time until there was the PDI mint, right? And when Maria came out on camera and started selling, I was like, what the hell is this dude or whatever doing, right? And Maria made it clear, like, I need to save the ecosystem, so I need to sell everything because everything is tied to PDI. And if PDI continues to get minted, then it's going to mint the ecosystem to zero, which is Atropa, because its liquidity web has supported PDI for a long time. So I understood and didn't understand that. I understood it, but I didn't understand it. I don't understand why you did it on camera, or maybe that was the way to voice things out. I don't know. Well, a lot of people switched out and pumped tires, right? Started to launch tokens that were Maria driven. So you have the teddy bear, the OG teddy bear, right? From the OG Maria ecosystem here. And it's on the rise. Like, if you bought these bottoms after Maria sold and has now come back and is doing a few different things, we'll talk about Fed token in a minute. You're enjoying this right now. You could have gotten in at 8 zeros and it's 7 zeros. Like, guys, all right, talk about history repeating itself. Let me stretch out as far back as I can go, right? With when Teddy Bear first came into existence, and that's August of 2023, right? This is when everyone started talking about PDI. Teddy Bear comes. So the 8 zeros literally was August of 2023. That's almost 2 years ago, bro. Like 3 months short of 2 years ago. You're getting two prices from 2 years back. So you got the bottom. You basically got the entry, beginning of time entry all over again, right? And Maria is not going anywhere. Maria has been around for as long as till this PDI mint happened. Maria wasn't doing anything of this nature until that happened. So in that moment, I lived in the moment because I saw nothing but RH tweets about how bad PDI was with the minting, and then we see Pulsechain going down. And the only thing I identified during that period when Pulsechain was actually coming down was it's not so much PDI that was bringing it down. It was the community selling in regards to them being scared of PDI minting, continuously bringing down the entire ecosystem. So the actual people of Pulsechain were selling it down and really like scared, So a lot of things happened. But I do know one thing. I cannot replicate that success. The only way I can replicate that success or do it again is getting a re-entry to the early day prices, which we got on Atropa. We'll take a look. We're looking at Teddy Bear right now, right? We're looking at the early days and how close we just got to that here in this area here, in this little area here, in this window of opportunity, right? During all the drama. And now I feel like it's going to start racing back up and go back to all-time highs with the market, where I predict is going to be drastically making a big change as far as going into a parabolic phase, moving up and forward, like in August of this year. So I want to be here, okay, because I was here originally. And when I look at the OG printers, I keep going up and down in value. So for example, because this is what I've been doing practically all of 2025. Let's say you have 20,000, right? Or let's say you have 100 grand. Some of you have made 100 grand with OG Web Chef, right? You put in maybe 10,000, you're at 100 G's, right? ROI is high, everything's good. You wake up one morning, ROI is even better. You're like, oh my God, let me keep compounding. You go enjoy yourself for one day. Come back and everything has changed. The price, your value's down, you're back to 20 G's, ROI is down, changes get made. Everyone's going through this process. You know, the sentiment changes, the hype starts to turn into fear. People start to panic, chat goes crazy, and you're in that printer, and then all of a sudden another printer takes off. Like, boom, everyone drives attention there. So I've been in this rotation going back and forth, and I've been doing it pretty successfully up until recently, where I just like didn't rotate as much as I should have early on. And now I'm like, okay, I got to rotate because that's what the people that made the most money did. And then I got into WWPP. I made money there. Then I just got wrecked over the weekend. I'm like, I'm 50% down on that. I'm seeing the print, remember printing hard, and then these were going up and down. And I say, you know what? This is exhausting. Let me bring it back old school. Let me go and research what Maria's doing and what's going on. And, you know, I want to find those X's. I don't want to print like, it's going to be very hard to bring people on board and say, hey, I'm making 5% per day. Well, BitConnect, right? Like everyone's going to throw out BitConnect, even 1% per day. But the transitions that we've made from when I first got into OG Web Chef, and shout out to him, like, no, this is not to throw any shade at him, but my experience since February all the way to now has been an up and down roller coaster of like ROIs going extremely high to extremely low. I'm starting to think that there is so much that needs to be added and done to sustain it. It's not quite figured out yet. And it may not be a sustainable ecosystem. I know he's transitioning into vaults, but I want to exit out of all that before a new idea comes and it sinks or swims. Because if it sinks, then I'm going to go down with the ship, right? Like you go all in, you got no life raft. So I'm going back because I'm getting entries on Maria. I know who inspired OG, Maria. I know who inspired PTGC, Maria. I know who inspired all these other tokens that are out there, not even in right now, Sparta, all these liquidity webs. Everything that you see is that's had the most gains and most success has been like Maria driven, right? I'm bringing it back. That's it. I'm bringing it back. You know, I'm making that decision. I don't want to wake up and worry about, you know, I'm at a 1%. You know, I just want to go back to the good old days of collecting gains, to be honest with you, right? I don't want to worry about if this printer's the world's, and like I said, this is just a decision for me. Everyone, you got to understand, what did I do here? Do not let an influencer influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency. You got to make your own damn decision, right? This is strictly, I did this when let me clear it. You got to make your own decisions, right? And I keep drawing these stupid lines. You got to make your own decisions. You got to be your own man. Make your own, you know, judgments. But I like these prices. And even when I go to Atropa, right, I can't get that back because we just recently, during that circle of opportunity, right? I wonder why the chart does that. Let me go right here. 6 months. All right. When all of that selling was happening, look at the prices we got in April, man. look at what you could have done, what I could have done, instead of running around chasing ROI and getting like, pressuring myself to do this and that. Could have just been buying, not looking, not printing, but holding it out and making this many X gains from like these dips here. So you're talking about a half a penny to a penny. Like you're in a 10x. You're in a 10x here, man. Pretty easily, just by accumulating the fear, the uncertainty and doubt. And it's a proven ecosystem over the course of the entire chain. So I have enough data of being in Atropa, of being a huge success and going everything other than down, but up and to the right, while everything else was going down, up and to the right through the past 2 years, other than this section of what's happened with PDI. And I collect the data of what I've been doing at the beginning of 2025. And I just go, all right, let me bring them back. I've always had to do this in crypto. Typically when I do this in crypto, it's like, let me get out of like the high risk, high reward DeFi, slow it down, meme tokens. I've done all that and go back into, like the safe plays. When you got your Bitcoin, you got your Ethereum, but everyone's got like different safe havens out there, right? So I think at this point, teddy bear's still early. You missed a good window of opportunity for Atropa, right? I don't know how many of you are going to want to buy here. I'm, like I said, not a financial advisor. But like, you can't not look at that and go, you telling me a month ago I could have been buying here and we're here, right? Like, you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that you wouldn't want to do that, right? Also, the token that it's about 5 months old? Almost a half, it'll be 6 months old coming up soon. It's taken off as well. It's another part to the Maria ecosystem here. The reserve Fed token has been going up and building its LP and going up and to the right. I'm going to rock with it. Like, listen, you can laugh at me later. That's okay. This is all documented. I'm not here to like, I was right. And this is a big move for me, like throw it in your face. Like, it's whatever, man. I can get rich or get wrecked in this moment. I want to eliminate the stress environment that I've been in with these ROIs and all that. I don't want to live like that. I want to be able to be in a position, and if I 2 or 3x, I'll take my profits, go back in. That's just where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I just know that I'm grateful for both founders of both platforms. When it comes to what Maria has done for me since the beginning of time in Pulsechain, I'm very grateful for OG Web Chat for what he's done for me during this year. I've had a rough patch of good times, rough patches, good times, up and downs. I've collected enough data for me personally to go, I'm moving on. Some of you are going to stay in and print. Good job. I hope it prints for the remainder. Your position gets increased and continues going forward. However, I'm going to jump on the opportunities after what's happened with the Atropa ecosystem because of the price points have been super, super low. And I understand that Pump Tires has its own teddy bear. Pump Tires, to me, right? I don't think that Richard Hart has any respect to like this teddy bear, anything that really launches on Pump Tires other than probably Most Token. He's never liked meme tokens, right? He has taken a pivot and has gone forward with the position of saying, all right, I know it's in, I know it's hot. Pump Tires is born, its own version of Pump Fund, but instead of enriching himself, he's burning the tokens of his ecosystem, which when you launch on Pump Tires, you're burning Pulse, and then you send it on a liquidity on PulseX, and you start burning PulseX on the trading volume. It's just a wham, bam, boom, boom, nice 2-punch combo, right? That's what it does for him. That was him breaking his ethos and going, I'm going to go meme tokens, but it's going to help my ecosystem. And if you want to play it with fire and do that, do that. We've seen a lot of pump tires pump and dump. That's meme tokens. That's not anything that's dedicated to Pulse Chain. That's every chain. I forgot to go into the chat room. Hex G and a teddy bear. What's going on? Goo God. What's LFG? What's going on, man? Got to risk it for the biscuit, right? Jerome in the house. Let's go, Buckle. You're thinking P-Dye. I'm liking P-Dye's sentiment right now, right? That's all the crypto is. What people speculate on and what they're excited about, that's what goes up, you know? What happened to Katie or Cassie or whoever she was? The XUSD Dev? Where can I message you? In the description of YouTube, I got, you can message me. There's a link to my Telegram. Luna C Point, what's up? Bear is giving Teddy a massive uppercut. Atropa P-Dye Bear that plays on Pulse Chain. I'm believing that. It's where I'm gonna park my money, and just go from there, right? Don't listen to influencers. Do you? You want to be in this ecosystem, another, all your money tied up here, there, split up, OG. You got to do you, man. But I got to do me, right? When do you think that Pulse Eco will pump? August. Straight up answer for you right there. August, not a financial advisor. XUSD Dev surfacing said Maria code is genius and is super advanced. I'm telling you. You know, I look at like the main influencers. There's only two people you can think of. The main influencers on the OG Teddy, Ian B. Roots, right? And it was a massive, massive part of their push and success on Pulse Chain, and everything that was tied in it with P-Dye was Maria. So Teddy launching on pump tires was super bullish with the influencer push, right? Super bullish. But it's a straight meme. It's a straight meme. Maria's teddy bear is a meme that has a purpose within a web of liquidity and an ecosystem. All right. So you could literally say that teddy bear, pump tires teddy bear, is entirely useless other than speculation. Like, it has no utility, which utility is not needed in crypto for a pump. It's not needed in crypto to make money. But versus the other Teddy has actual utility within an ecosystem to generate the liquidity webs and how they function and how they rise together with Hart's Law. This here just is a flat, straight out meme. Someone clicked a button. It probably cost them less than 10 cents to make it. They had a big influencer push it. That was early on the OG Teddy. You saw this run up, right? But that's all the hype. Now, when the hype dies out and you're here, all right, picture yourself when cores take off. When cores take off, they start dumping all their memes. They start dumping the altcoins, and they chase Pulse, PulseX, and Hex, really. You see that in every market that identifies itself at the top of the food chain as the native gas token. Then there'll be a cool-off period, and money goes into like the memes and all that. So there's a different cycle. But there will be a winner here, right? There will be a winner here. Teddy on Pulse, not for me. Our Teddy on pump tires, not for me, right? I have to have the one that has the reason behind the... Listen, if Maria never launches Teddy Bear, never supports P-Dye, never launches Atropa, never launches a single token, all right? Hear me out here. Hear me out here. There is nothing to talk about on Pulsechain for the past 1.5 years. If Atropa doesn't launch its ecosystem and its liquidity webs, there's no PDI narrative. There is no massive success on a meme token known as Teddy Bear. The Atropa token itself, PTGC never comes out. It's never born. Never is a thing. There's no OG web chef. What are we talking about on Pulsechain if Maria never existed? Right? And it's not like you have to be that person that believes it's going to $1. Like, I think that's ridiculous to think about it pegging anytime soon or even then. It's about the driving force of a ecosystem that was so bullish that had people that were like, yeah, maybe it could peg, or yeah, it's going to peg, but it had speculation, it has an ecosystem, it has volume, it has users. It brought attention to Pulsechain. If Pulsechain didn't have Maria, Pulsechain would have been worse than Phantom during its peak ghost time. That is a fact. Okay? Could you imagine Pulsechain without Maria? It wouldn't be what it is today. That's kind of sad because I don't think after the tweet that Richard Hart said about Atropa during the PDI mix shows that Maria and Richard Hart are, any type of affiliation to each other. But damn, Richard, you didn't even do for Pulsechain what Maria did for Pulsechain. So when Maria extracts and says, I'm doing this to save the ecosystem and extracting so that the PDI minter doesn't wreck my system and I'll come back. And after the mint came back, I have to say, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because if it weren't for you, I would just be below SAC price, way below SAC price for going on 2 years now, right? I would have made no gains in this entire ecosystem. I would have made nothing if it wasn't for Maria. So as much as I can't stand what was done, and I hated the feeling, and everyone else did too, of the sketchiness of selling on a live stream, but that fact that she explained what was going to happen, I will come back if the problem was fixed and it's handled, and the return of the Mac is here. Hey, I'm rolling with you. I'm gonna dice it up here, bro. I'm gonna dice it up here. That's where I'm at, right? You might want to have a look at Enki if you're bullish on the Atropa ecosystem, up from over 2x from the bottom. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of tokens like Enki and Goo God's tokens that are supporting assets of Atropa that have all looked like they were flatline dead, right? Start to make a comeback and start to rise together, right? We pegged yet. I don't think that's a thing, right? Forget the peg, though. The damn token did a 10,000x on Pulsechain. Forget the peg. I don't even care if it ever hits 10 cents, 5 cents. It had way more gains than any RH token. That's crazy to me. Man, that's crazy. Would you tend to keep more in cores or use PTGC as a core index and a bigger percentage holding? I'm not doing PTGC right now, or probably ever. I've actually talked to some devs about it. Two now. The last one's like, I say top of the food chain smart. They just call PTGC in their own words, because these are big brain guys, simple, basic tech, nothing innovative. And I also confirmed with these conversations what I've been saying, that PTGC will not have a massive run again because, and unless it paired back up with PDI at the bottom. Its massive success was that PTGC went like massively into an LP bond with PDI at like the beginning, before it ran up. Now that it has detached from that LP, unless it were to re-enter it now and PDI goes back to a penny 3 cents, and it could ride it up. But other than that, it's heavily bonded with EHEX, right? So like maybe that could do a quick, like crazy run. Like I'm talking about like 100x plus to do what it did before, because PTGC was successful because of PDI LP bond. That freaking token did a 10,000x. So of course it had crazy X multipliers. But at this point, and again, without Maria, no success, right? Barely any. What kind of X multiplier are you going to get on PTGC if Maria never existed? I don't think PTGC would be around, but we're still have been and always have been for the past 2 years under SAC prices. It wouldn't have had the success. The success was the token that went up and to the right without the success of Pulsechain, a Maria token. So I just think narratives are strong again, and Maria has been nothing but the shit on the chain. So, I mean, who can deny it? The stats are literally locked in. Price charts that you can go look at history. It made history. It is the Pulsechain history. It will always be a part of the Pulsechain history, the Maria ecosystem. Love her or hate him or his, her, whatever the hell you want to refer to as Maria as. You cannot talk about Pulsechain without Atropa. The things that made Pulsechain relevant. PDI, you can hate it. Don't care if it could peg or not. I don't care. I don't think a token like that is going to hit $1. A lot of people do, though. And it had way more success than any core token. That's just the truth. So the sad part is, for me, is like, you could have been all in, eliminated all your cores instead of the percentage that I did, and made way more money. It happened. It's a part of history. Every single one of you that didn't buy PDI at the beginning or transition from all your core tokens to Maria's ecosystem, you would have way more of your core tokens on the trade out today than you do and be up massively compared to holding your precious cores. That is in history. That is part of the woulda, coulda, shoulda, but you didn't foundation. And it's sad because it's supposed to be the other way around. You were supposed to have been rewarded for believing in RH cores. You were supposed to have had massive success from believing in, the core tokens of the Pulsechain ecosystem as part of the RH ethos. But you missed out if you didn't take those chances. You are below SAC price and not up if you did not take a leap of faith. So that's incredible to witness, and it's part of the history on Pulsechain, forever stamped. I think RH is using PDI as a marketing tool. It has brought over a lot of attention, kind of like Unisocks made Uniswap popular. Even made a meme about PDI. Even has made other memes. Nope. No, just most and Pump Tires token. What made Uniswap popular for me was when Hex came out. You couldn't even buy a token on Uniswap without 5% slippage with $100, whether it was Hex or any other token. Hex put it on the map, right? But this FET token, super bullish on this right now. Let's take a look at the shoulda, woulda, coulda, and the past since the beginning. Let's look at beginning of April, late March. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. 6 zeros. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. 6 zeros. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. 6 zeros. Now we're at 3. How many X's is that? What is that? 6 zeros. Let me take a look on the calculator. 6 zeros and a 3. And now we're at 3 0. Oh my gosh. Oh my Lord. Oh my God. Once again, getting punished holding core tokens. Why does this happen? Getting punished being the good guy. Oh my Lord. So we take the current price of 3 zeros and a 1, 4, 2, 3. Divide that by our 6 zeros and a 3. Well, no, wait. That's not how you do it. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm doing a little math real quick in the background. Wow. This is crazy. Yeah. So, only on Pulsechain. Boop. 4 zeros. Zip. Here we are. Maria. Not some pump tires tokens. Got an actual dev. A developer. A smart person. You can know nothing about crypto. My grandma can, with one click of a mouse, make a pump tires token. That should tell you something. That should tell you something, right? My grandma can make a token on pump tires. And although Maria had exited the ecosystem, she said she'd be back. She said for good reason. Hey, guys, I'm heavily tied to PDI. It's minting. Let me sound Save Atropa. And kept the word. Kept the word. I'll be back once things are fixed. And a man or a woman of his or her word, it happened, right? You could have got all these prices down here. What is it? 2 zeros and an 8. Oh my God. So yeah, I'm liking Fed. I'm bullish on Fed. Super bullish on Fed. I was telling people this is going to be a 5x to 100 million market cap. I'm in. All right? I'm in. Let me go look at the holders really quick on another page. Gosh. Yeah, you know what? PWBTC. Stealth moving up. Let's take a look. Oh my God. The speculation is heavy. I've been seeing it around Twitter. Parity. $573. Let's look at PDI. Oh wait, this is the wrong pool. We're gonna look at the one with the pulse, right? Can I type anything like that? I believe so. What happened to I thought I saved the chart. I don't really care which one I look at, but it like flipped to the one I'm on now. There's a lot of liquidity pools with this token though. A lot. It's webbed. It is webbed up. Look at all these pulls here. I got a 9mm, 9-inch. Do people still use 9-inch exchange? Probably. More bullish on Sonic at these prices than Pulsechain. No, I'm not really. I'm looking for mad gains. Sonic is going through some tough times right now. They're not like, no one's facilitating a massive project that has last longer than like a month over there. So it's a good place to park your stables for sure. I'm excited to make APR over there for sure and the airdrop. But other than that, the bottom of Pulsechain versus buying Sonic token, forget about it. There will be no comparison, in my opinion. in my opinion. So, yeah, back to Teddy all in. So okay, so we reach all-time highs again for Teddy. Man, oh man. I think, even if we get here. Oh man. And I don't even think people realize, like, we were just right here. This is not too long ago. Yeah, we're going back up. I like my whole driving force to go back to that ecosystem, right? I like my driving force. I just got this weird hunch I had to get out of the OG tickers. I feel, I'll be honest with you. Like, I was way bullish. Way bullish. I went into like WWPP. I had been talking to 3D. I talked about it last Monday. And I took a 50% haircut on WWPP, right? Like over the weekend. Not really much you can do because there's not a whole lot of LP, right? When you try to exit those. But I look at different trends and I notice, like, I think there's some sustainability issues with the ecosystem. If you don't see it, I'm sorry to FUD you, but I feel it. I think people, and this is not like a big dip. People are like saying what happened to WGEPP. All right, let me take a look here. World's greatest Ethereum printer. All right, where are you at now? I think everyone is kind of worried because it went down here. Here's what I think is going to happen. All right, I think you're going to trade sideways here and then take another dip. Right, I think it's going to continue to trade sideways. I feel, and I've been right on these before and didn't listen to myself. I've been right on these before and did listen to myself. I need to take a look as far back as here. Yeah, I feel like it'll probably trade sideways here eventually. Maybe come back up. Something like that. I think it could go lower. Either way, people are kind of worried about that. Looks like the volume's still there, 6.6. Let's see, 2.1 million, 24-hour period. So that's where you print the most. Remember seems to have it dialed in at this point, but it has traded here sideways for a bit, right? A few days, and now it's trading sideways again, but at a lower price point. If cores like go for a pump or either a pump or dump, like you'll notice in OG's ecosystem, when Pulsechain pumps, it takes a hit. When Pulsechain dumps, it takes a hit. And this is like in recent times. So I feel like in the case where it dumps, it's going to go down lower and trade sideways. And I don't know how that will return it back up, to be honest with you. I don't know the tech behind all this. I do know that he's transitioning to these vaults and giving you, I don't want to talk about this either. It is part of my decision though. He's giving you, eliminating admin keys and giving you the keys to the ecosystem via these vaults, right? And what happens in the case of like this new setup is you're going to be, I think, the driving force of the success, but you have the ability to go out there and recruit people and be like, all right, not your keys, not your crypto. The ecosystem no longer has admin keys, which means they can't mint. There's a vault. There's going to be a whole system to it. So you do have that aspect of like, now you don't have to trust like an OG web chef. But anything that operates on its own has the ability to be taken down by the community as a whole. I see what's been happening in OG web chef's ecosystem is the community sentiment goes down and he fights against that. So the way he fights against that is you'll see him shoot up the chart like crazy. Drop 200 G's on a token, bring it back to life. Community site starts to fight it down. So if he's fighting your sell pressure and the negative sentiment, and has continuously had to do that with several tokens. Fight, right? To fight the sell pressure because the community is not bullish. They're scared, all this and that. How does that happen in an environment where the keys are no longer in his hands? You know, does he still have that fighting force where he can go pump the price? Or is it going to be, this is on you guys? If you decide that you don't, the market decides that they want it lower because they want to sell it, that's where it goes. It's out of my hands. No more admin keys. Admin keys gives a lot of power to, in an ecosystem where you're printing, in my belief, to control certain aspects, to help things trade sideways, to help things recover. It's going to be interesting. We don't have the data on what will happen, but we do know that it's more safe, you know, with admin keys, right? That's DeFi. That's truly DeFi. All right. Yeah, I have been get a bit beaten down on the equal. I really hope they figure it out. I'm not exiting, but definitely on my knees praying. Right? Yeah, I did my prayers, man. To be honest with you, I'm at that point where I'm like, God help me. And I just realized that OG is a human being. He has these ups and downs emotions like we all do. Like when I exited the system and I had to cut a 50% loss on WWPP, I had these great conversations with 3D or nothing like that, but it's nothing personal. I think these are great guys. These are great devs. I don't pay their bills. They don't pay my bills. I got to feed my family. I got to do what's right for me. I cannot sit here and just be like, not say how I feel. I cannot come on camera and talk about it, but I'm also not funding these dudes either. I'm just saying for me, I haven't seen anything that can tell me that they're remotely even close to sustaining ROI. And we're getting too close to the bottom where the data that I have and I've seen is the forces of the price going up and the price going down seems to have a negative impact on these tokens. The only thing that makes it like remotely good is always trading sideways, and that's not crypto, right? So I don't know how they can pull it off or if they're close. I know they're trying, but I just rather not at this point, right? If I were to print 1% per day on a $1,000 investment, right? How much more money would you make if you bought Teddy Bear at these lows and it hit all-time highs? Let's say it took 3 months to hit all-time highs on a $1,000 investment. But during that 3 months, compared to putting 1,000 into Teddy Bear at these lows, you put 1,000 into a printer that's printing, let's even say 3% per day. Where do you make more money in that 90-day period? And let's say you just compounded and everything. Where do you make more money? Teddy Bear, in my predicted time frame of 3 months out, the ecosystem starts to become bullish on Pulsechain, and I believe this will hit all-time highs and above, or $1,000 in a printer that prints you 3% per day and you compound for 90 days. Where do you make more money? Who's got the answer? Which one makes you more money? And if it ain't about the money, what the hell is it about? Right? It's all about the money. Everything is about the money. I don't have to lie to you about that. It's all about the money. You can be there for the tech. You can love the developers, love the community. Everyone likes to say they love the community so much, but you know you want to make money, right? You want to make money. Everyone's in it for the money. That's it. I don't know anyone who does things for free. And if they do, then they're probably not going to put that hard of an effort as somebody who's money driven, right? You tell somebody to do your yard for free, which one's going to come out better? The person who got paid for it or the one who's doing it for free? You probably take all day, take breaks, It's different. It's different. Let's see. That's on Secret Printer. Fed is the play. Yeah. I love me some Fed. Oh, wait, let me take a look at the OG printers. So this was close to 10% over the weekend. It's gone down, and the price has kind of gone down, but it's trading sideways. This is back up. This is back up. You know, a lot of us were in these with high prices. I don't know what you can do. Unless they got a ton of new users to bring this price up, a lot of you bought 10 bucks plus. I talked to a lot of you. You got wrecked. You're stuck. I'm sorry for that. That's all I can say. I always say don't follow influencers, but I'm sorry that happened. It happened. It happened. It did. This original token, it was up many X's versus this price. It got an airdrop or whatever, or you can buy more, you know, and it happened, you know. They're working on things. It's growing pains. This token here went to $100. It's 63 cents right now. These are things I looked at to make that transition. So that's like in conclusion why I did all this, right? Everything is added up. If the community had stayed strong, maybe it was the bots. I don't know who sold. It's a mix of everything, right? But I gotta look at the data. You don't see this on Maria's tokens, okay? And I'm only comparing this at this point and saying, yeah, I'm transitioning in a very peaceful way, but I'm giving my closing arguments here on why I would just say it's no longer, it'd be irresponsible for me to be completely bullish and ignore a lot of the things that have happened. This token went up to $143. It only came out in March. So it's April, May, June. It would be 3 months old. In 3 months, it went from $149 to 63 cents. Okay. There you go. Right? Do you find that in Maria's ecosystem? No. Matter of fact, it went down and it's recovered, and you could have made many X's. All right. Just say give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it'll recover one day. We don't know. Right? Another one I went into. This one is probably one of the other ones I got straight wrecked on versus like I printed my way into break even or to profits was Qubit or Quantum, right? Qubit. Ultra wrecked. All right. So I'm just looking at the data of just they're testing things. And I said this from the beginning. If you want to be part of that test, you want to be a test dummy, the experiment, there's a possibility you can make gains or get wrecked, right? And a few just happened to be part of the test and didn't work out. Some had massive run-ups, and it was great. But remember the Crypto Coffee? Crypto Coffee came in with his interview. We went up to $17, $18, $20, and this is where we're at within almost a 2-month range. So it was a nice run. A lot of you made money. I hope a lot of you made money. What I'm hoping is a lot of you didn't buy here, and now you're holding here, or you've had to sell in between here and take losses. That's probably what happened with a lot of people, especially that bought up here. But to be fair, I was chilling and talking about it all through here. Crypto Coffee right here. Woo! Crypto Coffee top, right? But the fact of the matter is it's happened, right? So we look at this data and we go, all right, man, this is a tough sale. Is there enough people to come in and pump my bags or to even keep it from continuing to go down from the trend that we're looking at right now? Which the trend that I'm looking at right now is, remember, it can print and has crazy volume. And that's great, right? But, right, it also has been trading sideways and going lower and lower. It's getting less people that are holding. So does it just trade sideways and continue to go down, right? and do historically what a lot of the tokens have done and sentiment changes? Do I want to continue with the experiment? I'm just going to say, I'm going to run with Maria. That's it. Right? I've looked at the data. Like I said, in conclusion to what I started this conversation about, with what I've done in 2025, where it's at, what it's looked like. I think it's very exciting, like it over the weekend was, where I went in and out. I was like 9%, but I just took a 50% loss on WWPP, right? So I'm not that excited, but I'm happy that everyone else is excited. But I have gone down with the shit pretty hard, and that's on me. No one else did it. But to go from wreck to rich, to go from a bad position to a new one, I have to find a spot where I think it's doable, where it's still early. So I find it here with Maria. Rock and roll, Trent Stroh. We got the repeat of the original first day token prices, right? You take a look back here, December, November 2023. You're early. You rode this wave here. You made a lot of money. History repeats itself. I think there's a glorious entry point for the teddy bear, right? Great early opportunity for Fed token. Atropa, man, you coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? That's the coulda, woulda, shoulda foundation right here. I'm a part of the itty bitty brain committee, bro. Because shoot, I could have been shooting bombs like here. Okay, where was the Big Dipper? Right here, right there is where I could have sold all. I sold my Beast for 15, but around this time was like the downfall of Beast. I could have just been Maria bottom here, 10x my money out of Beast, 10x here holding it, versus being in like the printer world, right? I don't need to do all that anymore. So that's my transition. Shout out to OG Web Chef. Hopefully they continue to print and trade sideways, because everybody that got in after me, I need them to succeed. So you still love me. But at the end of the day, I just look at different trends and sentiment changes. Emotional side of crypto brings this part out of me, out of you. So you got to imagine you have somebody here that's streaming like you have me that's streaming my emotions and being transparent, and you're kind of getting a glimpse of what possibly a lot of people do feel. And then a lot of people do feel the opposite, right? It's not going to sit well with a lot of people, but I mean, what am I going to sit here and be like, yeah, look at that. Just spilled my coffee. Print or die, ride or die. Like, nah, bro. Like, I've been in it for a few months and talked about it. And these are the things. Secret and hidden printers have been pretty stable. Yeah, I like those guys. They have gone from, and that's the thing too. If you look at secret and hidden, you cannot identify them as the same, right? I don't want people to think, well, they are a brand of, the OG ecosystem. No, they're doing things different. They're driven differently. They're built differently. Their community's different. You'll notice that there's a lot of supporters of OG, and there's a lot of people who have been like OG printer refugees that are here. They're happy. So don't feel like they are all tied in together. These people have their own way of doing things. And I know a lot of people are happy. I still have a bag of Secret. Secret didn't go up enough for me to sell. RSI did, though. I'll tell you right now. RSI went up high enough for me to go, bink, I gotta go. I learned, let's see. What happened here? I learned about Fed via if you know, you know, you know. And it honestly netted me over 2K in Fed. I just held it. Oh, yeah, if you know, you know. Do I have that token here? Yeah. Okay. $16. It's worth 12 cents. I just look at this as data. Like this is, don't have no fear that we're looking at this. You collect the data and you do what you do with the information that you're given. Okay. All right. You just see these prices and, crypto goes up and down. It is what it is. It's part of the game. But I feel like there will be times that transition into higher prices. There's gains everywhere. Remember this token? All them dudes out there like, buy Mooney. It's pump tires. It's backed by gold. Like, homie, get out of here. Don't try and copy the Maria. Don't try to copy her. Her. I'm sorry. But yeah, take a look at Fed, guys. Don't forget to pound the like button. Do your own research. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
I wake up in the morning, telegram in hand, on to our community, the coolest in the land. Cheese cream drops a joke, got me laughing loud. Then I start to scroll down through the daily crowd. Who's the OG prince, lighting up the zone? Is it Dama Beast or Sav on the throne? Or maybe it's Friday, Flexmas is here. Time to throw some gains and flex without fear. I toss out some questions, looking for the signs. Inside fixes ready, dropping out for lines. I keep on reading, can't look away. Those spicy emojis make my whole day. Then someone yells exit, get off Pulsechain. But I ride the waves through pleasure and pain. I live in a limbo of hope and despair, but we're all in this boat and I'm proud to be there. Yeah, I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild T5 game. I might end up wrecked, burned by the flame, but I'm with the best crew in this wild T5 game.